What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jeff Guy Gaming, and today we're doing the top 5 hardest rebuilds of Madden 22. We're on Madden 21 right now because the game's not out. But as you get ready to get Madden 22, whether you're on next gen, current gen, PC, Nintendo Switch, we want to get you the most information possible to make your rebuilds as entertaining and engaging as possible. Franchise has a lot of updates this year, so we really want to hit the ground running and get some of these hard rebuilds out of the way and really get them build some dynasties. So here we go. Make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Helps the channel out as we get into the top 5 hardest rebuild teams of Madden 22. So there is a method behind the madness here. We did take a look at like each team and figured, what makes a rebuild difficult? What are the different factors that go into making a dynasty or a Super Bowl team? And what are the limiting factors that are preventing a lot of teams from getting there? So we'll go down that list, see what the things we decided are going to be like really limiting factors, and then we'll reveal each team. So number one, the hardest thing to overcome is a bad quarterback. So the teams that have bad quarterbacks are going to be difficult rebuilds, and you got to find your guy, whether it's through the draft, free agency, a trade. It's really hard to win a Super Bowl without a quarterback. So the teams without quarterbacks are going to be high on this list. Number two, lots of positional needs. So this is just overall talent. There are certain teams, not going to name Atlanta, that don't really have a lot of talent across the board. So what we're going to do is the teams without talent going to be on this list. Number three, bad contract situations, i.e., the Saints, where they are paying a lot of people a lot of money. And that while you might have the talent on your team, you definitely do not have the flexibility to rebuild and make things happen without incurring major cap penalties or just being stuck to guys who you frankly don't fit your system or don't fit, the team culture. So that's going to be number three. Number four is no draft capital. So you think like a team like the Texans preview, they're going to be on this list, where you just don't have a lot of picks, and that makes it difficult because draft is probably the most important aspect of a rebuild is organically building through the draft and making sure that the players that you bring in are low contract rookies that you can develop into high paying superstars. So no draft capital, tough there. And then the last couple, just rattle through. If you're in a tough division, think like the Bengals playing against three really, really good teams. Uh, Lack of youth is going to be tough, where teams like New England have some youth, but are largely dominated by players in their 29s, 30s, which in Madden is kind of the age where you're not good anymore. So that's going to be a big factor. And then the last one was the existence of a user linebacker. There are certain teams that do have user linebackers and can like make up for a lot of defensive holes by having one. So if a team doesn't have a user linebacker, that's a big flag. So those are all the factors. Let's get into these teams. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, we started out with the Jets. Now, the Jets are going to be the fifth hardest team to rebuild. Let's take a look at this user created roster and just kind of go through all the different pieces. So, we do have a young quarterback in Zach Wilson. He is unproven, but will likely have star or better development in Madden 22 and should be a piece you can build around with this Jets team. There are some weapons in Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder. Denzel Mims, probably not going to be anything special, but wide receivers really aren't the biggest thing in a rebuild. They are pretty easy to acquire, whether they're just low overall speed guys or guys you just find in the draft that can, come in and contribute. We're looking over at this offensive line. A lot to be desired, but you do have Mekhi Becton, Mekhi. I'm not too sure there, but he would probably be a superstar in Madden 22 as well. He's a beast. And then continue to develop that offensive line. Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm not sure how they got his face into the game, but he's in here. They're starting to build that offensive line. Elijah Moore is also on this team. He'll be very good. And then the defense has some players. Marcus May, Quinnen Williams are kind of in there. But they do have Blake Cashman. Whoops, sorry. They do have Blake Cashman. So he is a user linebacker. So that's going to help them out a little bit. And then they also have Javelin Guidry, who 96 speed. If you don't have him already on one of your franchise teams, you better go get him. He's nice. So the Jets going to come in at number 5, hardest rebuild of Madden 22. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Eagles are in a very, very interesting position, and they're going to be a team I think a lot of people are going to try to rebuild. The number one reason is this guy right here, Jalen Hurts. He is probably one of the most exciting young quarterbacks in the league. He had some really, really, really solid production last year, but people don't seem to believe in him. And it's going to be really interesting to see where his development lands, where his overall lands, and just how he is as a player in Madden 22. If he's good, this team could be very good, but that's going to be very, very dependent on his ability. They also have Devonta Smith, who is a true wide receiver one. Outside of him, though, I did it again. What am I doing? Outside of him, there's not a lot on this team. Miles Sanders is all right. Dallas Goddard's all right. There's not really any other wide receivers. And the real pain of this team comes in the talented yet very, very old offensive line, where they are all being paid a lot of money and they're all not going to be around a lot. So, year one, you might be fine having all of them on the team, but they're not going to last that long. And you're really going to struggle to rebuild that offensive line given how much they're being paid and how many of them you're going to have to replace. We don't care about special teams. Let's go over to the defense. The defense here, Fletcher Cox and Darius Slay, both guys in their 30s, getting old. Not exactly what you're trying to build around. Year one might go okay for you. Year 2 and 3, you're going to struggle having them on the team at all. Kerrigan, Brandon Graham, other guys that they brought in, decently high overalls, and Anthony Harris, you can add to that list. Decently high overalls, but they're really just not guys you're trying to build your franchise around. They might be guys that you add on at the end. They're veterans, say, come in, play. These guys, not so much. Lot to do here. Not a lot of draft capital. You really, really hope it works out for the Eagles. Now, the only reason that the Texans are number 3 on this list is because they still have Deshaun Watson and Brandon Cooks. Outside of them two, there was not a speck of talent that is either paid fairly or valuable to the team. Yeah, I said it. Texans, get it together. Now, granted, they've made a lot of changes and they've got a complete overhaul under Nick Caserio. They've brought in a lot of guys, and I think they have like 10 to 11 guys left from last year's team on there, something stupidly low like that. But you look at this team, and there's just nothing here outside of Deshaun Watson, and there's a very real chance that he does not suit up in next year's season or is not in the game in Madden 22. So watch out there. You notice he wasn't in any of the promotional videos. That's probably why. But yeah, so Brandon Cooks, obvious great player, but what is he going to be in the game next year? He's going to be 27? So you got him for a couple years. Tunsil is just massively overpaid. Watson's contract's also massive. So you really got to watch out for them too. They're eating up a lot of it. And don't forget my favorite Randall Cobb, my highest viewed TikTok. If you haven't watched my TikTok, go check it out. Was when I rebuilt the Texans in Madden 21 and cut Randall Cobb finally after year 3 because he finally paid out a signing bonus. That was a great day. Looking over to the defense, they lost J.J. Watt. They lost a lot of guys. There just isn't a lot of talent here outside of Justin Reed. And Justin Reed, very good player. He might not make it. You can't really use him as your user because he needs to be that over-the-top safety. But if you're an over-the-top safety user, maybe this might work out for you. There's just not a lot here, and it's really, really disappointing to see. And the other piece, Texans, of course, they don't have a first-round pick. They don't have a second-round pick. Uh-oh. Look out. Number 3. At number 2 on our list, the Las Vegas Raiders. This team, outside of Darren Waller and Henry Ruggs, really doesn't have anything that valuable in Madden 22. I'm just taking a look at this team, and there's nothing that I'm really looking to build around outside of those two guys. Josh Jacobs is probably one of the most overrated running backs in Madden. Maybe the game plays different next year. Maybe it does. But he's someone who regularly can't get it done in franchise. John Brown, Renfro, Willie Snead is my guy, but I just don't really see anyone on this team really excelling. Richie Incognito is gone after next year. Colton Miller is okay. And there's just a bunch of just on this offense and a bunch more on the defense. There's really not anyone here that's overly impressive from a speed, age, contract, or talent perspective. You basically have to go in and replace every single player on this team. So if you want a challenging rebuild, let's look to the Las Vegas Raiders. Good luck there. This might be a controversial take, but I think the number 1 hardest team to rebuild is going to be the New Orleans Saints in Madden 22. With Drew Brees leaving, there's not a lot of talent at quarterback, and I don't imagine that Winston or Taysom Hill are going to get great dev traits. Neither one of them are that young. and neither one of them are under contract for that long. Plus, going over to the contract side, you have guys like Armstead, Ramczyk just got signed, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Lattimore, Davenport. All these guys are getting the bag. The bag. So for you to go in as the new GM of the New Orleans Saints, congrats to you, by the way, for making it there. You're going to have to go in and make a lot of tough choices on who you're keeping, who you're bringing in, who are you signing, who are you trading, who are you drafting. Because every single decision you make on this team is going to have a huge impact. And the guys like Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Ramczyk, Armstead, you're with them for the long haul. You've got them for 4 or 5 years each, at least. At least. And they're accounting for over like 60% of your salary cap. So, good luck trying to make this team work. And if you are like a Saints user 3 years in and you find yourself having some success, comment down below. Let me know what decisions you made to make this team work. There's so much. Your Cameron Jordan, I'd even mentioned earlier, probably one of the best D linemen in the league, one of the best ends. What do you do? Like, do you let Cameron Jordan walk? Do you let Davenport walk? Do you let either of your franchise tackles walk? Do you try to bring in a franchise quarterback? Do you think Ian Book's the future? Can you pay him nothing and try to just compete with Thomas Harris, Traquan? I don't know what to do. If I take over this team today, I'm not sure what I do. Let me know what you think down below. Appreciate everyone, watching the video, hanging out. We're getting really excited for Madden 22 over here. So if you want to see a different video about Madden 22 going into the new game, let me know. Looking forward to making it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.